Today, we're in Philadelphia to ride a high-speed line, the Norristown High Speed Line. Except it's not really like the high-speed lines you're used to. It's more like a trolley. Except it's not really like the trolleys you're used to. It's more like a heavy rail interurban rapid You know what? Let me just show you. Hey everyone, I'm back in Philly. We're at 30th Street Station, and the downstairs platforms can be a little dark and unwelcoming, but once you take the escalator upstairs, you find yourself in the main hall, and it's hard to deny that this is an amazing way to be welcomed into the city of brotherly love. Having opened in 1933, this station is located not far from Center City, Philadelphia, but you can also transfer to SEPTA Regional Rail, New Jersey Transit, and the SEPTA Metro system. Yes, anyways, welcome to a brand new Trains Are Awesome video. I am Tom, and now that I've arrived in Philadelphia, I'm going to do two things. The first is walk to the L station to load a day pass onto my key card. Had I bought a day pass at the main railway station, where I just was, I could have gotten one that was valid for regional rail as well. The ones sold here at the metro station are only valid on the SEPTA Metro network, but they are cheaper. The 30th Street Transit Station is honestly a great example of the diversity of Philadelphia transit. We've got a tunnel with 4 tracks, and the outer 2 have low platforms and they serve trolleys. Meanwhile, the inner 2 have high platforms and serve the L, a heavy rail rapid transit line. We are taking a westbound L train all the way to the end, to the 69th Street Transportation Center. Philadelphia and the surrounding communities really just use every mode of transportation available. There are regular buses, trolley buses, regular trolleys, vintage trolleys, suburban trolleys, regional rail, an elevated rapid transit line, an underground rapid transit line with express service, an interstate rapid transit line, and a diesel interurban using European regional trains on street-running sections. Somehow, though, the train we are about to ride is kind of like if you combined all of those modes into one train. It's truly one of the most unique and interesting lines in the United States. But one thing, it's technically not in Philly. Alright, now that I've acquired the day pass, the second thing I'm doing in Philadelphia is leaving Philadelphia.
Doors are opening.
That's right, now I am in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, specifically at the 69th Street Transportation Center. It's one of the most important stations in the region. It serves as the terminus for the L, but it is also a large interchange where passengers can transfer to the 2 suburban trolley lines, which we've done in a previous video, to buses, and to the Norristown High Speed Line, also known as the M. A transfer from the L to the M requires you to go through a set of fare gates, but if you pay with a key card or your debit card, it is a free transfer. The train is about to depart, and at this time of day, they only run every half hour. I'm not missing that. So let's find a seat on this small one-car train and finally talk about what this is. The seats are pretty comfortable, actually. We are on the Norristown High Speed Line, a 13-mile transit line connecting the 69th Street Transportation Center in Upper Darby with the Norristown Transportation Center in, Norristown. Since the SEPTA Metro branding was introduced, the Norristown High Speed Line has been called the M. Now, I know what you may be thinking. High Speed Line? This train does not look like a Shinkansen or a TGV. It's only got a top speed of 55 miles per hour, 90 kilometers per hour. The name High Speed Line, back in the early 20th century, actually indicated that a line had its own grade-separated right-of-way. They were trolleys, basically, but because they didn't run in the street, they weren't as slow. Hence, High Speed Line. Another example of this is the Ashmont-Mattapan High Speed Line in Boston. Again, it uses relatively slow trolleys, but on dedicated tracks without crossings. The Norristown line opened in 1907, from 69th Street to Stratford. It was built by the Philadelphia and Western. In 1912, a branch line opened from Villanova to Norristown, and this branch became more popular. In fact, the original segment to Stratford closed in 1956. Interestingly, another interurban company known as Lehigh Valley Transit operated a line from Allentown to Norristown, and their trains would then run onto the Philadelphia and Western up to 69th Street. Kind of like how in the Midwest, the North Shore Line ran trains from Milwaukee onto the Chicago L. Speaking of which, the North Shore Line's electroliner trains actually ran on the Norristown High Speed Line for a bit, from 1963 to 1978. They were renamed the Liberty Liner, and they had a tavern lounge on board, serving food and drinks. The Liberty Liners weren't the only interesting trains that ever ran on this route. There were a few ones, actually. For example, the Brill Bullets, which saw service from 1931 to 1990. These were the first American trains to be designed and tested using wind tunnels, and their groundbreaking aerodynamic design inspired high-speed trains around the world. Later in the 80s and 90s, the line would see M3 Almond Joy trains, borrowed from the Philadelphia L, and they would run alongside 6000 series trains that came from the Chicago L. What a sight that must have been, two L trains next to each other. It seems only appropriate then that the current trains on the line are just as eccentric. 26 of these vehicles were built by Swedish company ABB, a predecessor to Adtrans. They were built between 1992 and 1993. I say vehicles because honestly, what is this? It's a completely grade separated line with no railroad crossings, and there are high platforms. Oh, so it's a metro line? Well, yeah, but it has request stops. If you don't request a stop, the train will pass right on through. And at most stations, fares are paid on board. So it's a trolley then. Well, yeah, but it's single-tracked, running from suburb to suburb. Until a few years ago, there was express service, and it's not very frequent. So it's an interurban? Wikipedia calls this an interurban light rapid transit line. APTA calls it intermodal high-speed rapid rail transit. Essentially, the Norristown High Speed Line is undefinable. It takes traits from many different modes and combines them into one quirky, unique transit line. One that, despite its ambiguity, works. It's been moving people for over a century. I think this is an online space where people place a lot of value in strict definitions. I mean, how many discussions have I seen that are like, that's not a train, it's a metro, or that's not a tram, it's a light rail. And yet, in some cases, having clear definitions can be really helpful, like when you're planning something. But on the other hand, sometimes I think those discussions can be kind of limiting. But what the Norristown High Speed Line shows us is that sometimes you just gotta build what's best for an area, whether that fits strictly into a specific mold or not. And let's be real, these are often the most fun trains to take. So I've come to Bridgeport, the last stop before Norristown. I wanted to see like an ordinary stop, not one of the terminals, and I wanted to, request a stop. And we're gonna just walk to Norristown because it's not that far, and I've heard this is a good view spot. The station is very basic. I'm walking down the stairs right now, but on the very small platform, there is a shelter. Yeah, there's a shelter. Fascinating group of people on board. Lady behind me on the phone with her doctor about whether or not she can say she's legally blind. A guy in front of me rapping. A different guy listening to the Quran's views on astronomy. And of course, commuters and one rail fan. And that rail fan got off the train at Bridgeport to see this. I knew that would be a good spot to watch the trains. All right, let's go cross the river. Ooh, this would have been an even better spot, but I would not have made that in the time. So basically after Bridgeport, the Norristown High Speed Line crosses the Schuylkill River, and over there is Norristown. In 1989, the terminus of the Norristown High Speed Line was moved to the existing regional rail station to provide an easier transfer, creating the Norristown Transportation Center. Before that, these trains had terminated about a block farther north. So this is the Norristown Transportation Center, and up there, that elevated platform, that is for the high speed line. And down here are the regional rail platforms, which you can take either to Norristown Elm Street or into Center City, Philadelphia, and beyond. That's what I'm going to do now. But first, we got to talk about the the Norristown High Speed Line. Whatever you want to call it, because what is it? It's a trolley with request stops, but it's got third rail. So is it a subway? No, definitely not a subway. Is it a regular train? Is it a high speed line? I think it's a valuable lesson that maybe sometimes we get too caught up on definitions. The Norristown High Speed Line works. It does what it's supposed to do. It combines different things of different modes, and that actually makes it a really fun thing to ride. It had been on my list of things to do for years, but I'd never gotten to it, so this Philadelphia trip, I made it my first priority. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Trains Are Awesome for more Philly content, more American content, and content from all over the world. You won't want to miss it. We'll see you next time. Speaking of next time, in our next video, we will be riding the regional rail Manayunk-Norristown line back into Center City, Philadelphia, or as I like to call it, the Norristown Low Speed Line. We'll see you then.